All right, hello, Peter PTA, Auto2, no thank you, repping for bar battles. We are so blessed to have Mark Grist in the house. Blessed. He just had an awesome battle, mostly a one-sided awesome battle. But he was kind enough to grant us an interview, so here we go. Mark, welcome to the Mark.
Oh, no worries. Cheers, thanks for having me, man. Yeah, it's been wicked. I've been here since Monday and I've met so many people, and it's pretty cool as well because I get lost everywhere. So like, people seem really helpful and really friendly. So I'm pretty much just being pointed in different directions by people and just drinking the whole time. So it's cool.
I'm sure if people are into battles, and they are if they're watching bar battles, they know about UMC. But could you describe your style for the
my style?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
stylus unorthodox.
Yeah, it probably is like because basically I was an English teacher and a poet, and I spent a lot of time studying like formal poetry and teaching that. But a lot of my students were into like hip hop and stuff, and I kind of learned a bit about it from them. And I met an MC called Mixie, you should check out. Mixie is awesome, and Mixie and I decided we'd swap art forms. We spent a year. I try and learn to be an MC, and he try and learn to be a poet.
Cool.
And so the idea was like I'd go and start rap battling and see whether I could use what I do in that, and he'd start trying to like enter poetry competitions and see if people would accept him for that. Yeah, and that's why I started battling. So my battling is very much like I use kind of poetry restraints and techniques. So I kind of I'll use like kind of I'll try putting in a limerick, or I'll try kind of using kind of like haikus, or I'll try and kind of write using like poetic forms and stuff. And also I spent like a lot of time reading when I was younger, and so my vocabulary is quite wide. So I think like people recognise me because I will rap stupid words like and do that, and hopefully make people laugh, because I don't really I don't take it massively seriously, like in a way. Like I think it's great and it's a great art form, but also like I'm clearly not very dangerous, and I'm clearly not going to like, you know, I'm not kind of like dangerous to it. And I know a lot of people who also do it who seem to act like they are dangerous and they're not either.
Right.
So I find it kind of funny to like do that. Yeah, it's kind of good fun.
What can you draw from the battle scene? I mean, obviously you have much input from your poetry background and your extensive use of the vocabulary. It's really great. But what can you take from the MCing side?
Oh, tons of stuff. Like breath control is really, really impressive. Kind of wordplay is really, really dense. And also, like the thing is, like a lot of people think that poetry, like really good poetry, high-level poetry, doesn't even use rhyme. And I love rhyme. Like I'm really into rhyme. And a rap battle, you'll sometimes get a crowd. You'll be like, "Your mum, boom," and everyone's like, "Ah," or like, you know, like rude, offensive stuff about things. But sometimes someone will just have a really clever multi-syllabic rhyme, and everyone will just cheer because it's a really clever rhyme. I don't think I've found any other art form where like rhyme is celebrated as much as like battle rap, and I love that. Like I think it's so clever and it's really interesting. So I find that really interesting. The showmanship, like the kind of performance skills and delivery. I live in a place called Peterborough, where if you try and like read someone a poem, you're going to wake up with like missing teeth. Like no one wants to hear that kind of stuff. So like my job, like I normally perform poems in pubs or like, you know, on the street, or like, and my job is to try and do things that will stop people and get their attention. That's what battle rap's about. Like battle rap is teaching you really high level skills in relation to controlling an audience and like forming a relationship with an audience in a very short space of time, and turning that into some kind of like punch on someone else. It's really, really interesting. I like it a lot.
Do you have any advice for Danish battlers as such, but also for our battle scene? I mean, we're on the come up.
Yeah.
I noticed that you were...
Yeah, I was having a chat about it. There's some really cool stuff going on. I think, I mean, from my understanding is that you guys have got like, for a while you've had like kind of freestyle battles on beats, it's been going really well, and actually kind of scripted battles without beat is a relatively new thing that people are just adapting to, particularly English-speaking battles. Mm-hmm. The English-speaking battles, I think, if you want to kind of enter it, I think you should go down that route in some ways, because I think there's a whole world stage that you can connect with through that, and it can mean that the MCs can be travelling all around the world, and it can really kind of grow out of that. I think it's definitely something that should be developed and is really good for you guys. But I also think that, like, because you guys had Thesaurus come over against Sage recently, and like I've met Sage today, like he's a nice guy, like I like him a lot. He was not well, you know, that was what our match, you know, he was not on form. But that Thesaurus match as well, like Thesaurus is like For me, he's one of the top 3 battlers in the world. And I don't think any British MC has ever beaten him. So you guys are quite new in relation to like scripted English battles, and you're putting people up against the top, the cream of the crop, which is great as far as getting those names over. But as far as developing your artists, I honestly think you want to be scouting kind of like good mid-tier battlers who need to develop their international skills and exposure and bring them over, and just get a few scalps. Do you know what I mean? Get some scalps behind people, get some momentum, so that when they got the thesaurus thing, it's like an end result for like growth. That's what I'd suggest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
sounds awesome.
yeah, but honestly, you guys are wicked. Like what you're doing is really, really good, and it's really exciting, and you're just starting out.